everything's coming in through the stream.
I've seen you around, but I never introduced myself. My name's Zach.
Brian.
Nice to meet you.
I'm eating drawings.
Yeah. Class with each other.
Brian, you actually you gonna be in on the show?
Yeah.
You want to set up your microphone then?
Yes. We had class with each other. I think it was last semester.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, we got the big purple button. Everybody plays the music.
Yeah.
Brian, you missed it, but it was fine. And next week we'll be joined by Homero. Possibly. He said he wanted to show up today. He told me right before I came in that he won't be able to make it. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Homero is one of our veteran DJs. He does a really interesting show here on 100.7. But he's gonna try and make it in. He's been listening to the podcast, so here's his.
I think he would make a very interesting guest personally.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So, okay, everything's coming in just fine. Nice. All right, so that's my announcements. That's everything we got going on. Let's get into the bit of the show notes here. So let's talk about sleep, boys.
Yeah, and how it shouldn't exist.
I actually wanted to talk about tiredness. So I just found out today that technically, according to government classifications, I work a full-time job and a part-time job.
Yeah.
So sleep doesn't exist, right? Like, it's fake. It's not something that we get very, very lightly. As college students, I think that we don't get that enough anyways, right?
Right.
Then just to add on it, we've got all these memes circulating, especially in the sort of Twitter sphere that I exist within, where you're just expected to be tired. Y'all got some takes on this, I heard?
I am of the belief, and I know you agree with me on Ethan, that sleep, being tired, should be optional, not required.
Oh yeah.
Like I like to sleep. I really like to sleep. I'm a big fan of sleeping, but there's days where I'm like, I'd be so much more productive if I just didn't.
Now, caffeine does exist.
Yes, but
along
like
with
there's
higher level stimulants.
There is like a burnout.
This is true.
You know, that's
There's
the problem.
always a cost.
There's always a cost, because once the initial rush of your coffee or your Monster goes away, like a truck.
Oh yeah. I mean, we were there whenever we were doing the 24-hour marathon over at the radio station. Brian, you were there too. What was it like at 5 a.m.? What was 7 a.m. like?
Honestly,
after a whole night,
it wasn't bad.
No,
I'm gonna be real. I've had some of the most crazy jobs. One of the craziest ones was working at Studio Movie Grill. We had that's
the movie house eatery type of thing where they like order food during a film.
Yeah, so like a restaurant and a movie put together. And there's been times where I have left after closing up and everything. I would say 4 in the morning.
Oh jeez.
Oh man.
Like, and
that's awful.
And I've had to work doubles. Like, I've had to come opening and I've left closing. I've been the first guy in.
Oh boy.
And the last guy out.
That is rough.
So sleep really doesn't. Sleep and me, we love each other, but we know it's a distance relationship.
Yeah. It's like
star-crossed lovers.
You like chat on Discord, you chat on Skype. You know, you exchange text messages. How you doing?
Sure.
Like I still love you, but man, like
hey, big head.
I hate that you live 2 states away.
Like, it's crazy. You know, when I got to college, I thought it was gonna slow down.
No.
Obviously, it did. Like right now.
Maybe your first year.
Maybe my first year was probably the only year I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
Other than that, like right now, I have 2.5 jobs.
Right.
On top of
school.
On top of school.
Which itself is already a full-time job.
Is a job.
It's a
job.
And some people don't understand that. Some people don't understand. Like, they tell me, oh, well, you go to school. That's a job.
Yeah, that is a job.
Like, I get a grade. I get evaluation.
I
put in the work. It's a brain job.
Not only is it a job, it's a job that you have to pay other people to do.
Yeah.
Think about that.
To get a piece of paper.
Yeah, to get a piece of paper that says, hey, I paid this amount of money to do this amount of work. I want a return on investment.
Now, realistically, you're learning skills and connections, but you know, a short form is you do get a piece of paper. It's a certification.
It's a certification confirming that you know the skills. But here's the issue. You still have to put in the work to learn these skills. Like, I would be a lot more willing to pay for college if college was like a pill that I could take and I can acquire all the knowledge from that. I'd be much more willing to pay, like...
I mean, I'm pretty sure we would all love Matrix style, just download skills and expertise.
Yeah, no, obviously. That'd be so cool.
That was probably the coolest part of that movie, along with the lobby scene.
Yeah.
When he's doing the, like, flips and then, like, opens his jacket with the double scorpions.
And the first one,
Man, I gotta pick up the Matrix on DVD. For anyone tuning in who doesn't know, I'm trying to develop a collection of DVDs.
I gave you a recommendation of horror stuff.
Yes,
you looked through a couple of those?
I haven't found any. Like, I've been going to the gaming movies, and I've been trying to pick up mainly, like, the essentials, like The Exorcist, Blair Witch.
If you can, it's gonna be difficult, but you gotta find Blade Runner.
Which one?
The old one.
Old one.
You're gonna have to actively hunt for it. It disappeared when the new Blade Runner came out. They got rid of it on streaming, and they no longer make it anymore. So you're gonna have to find it. The problem is nobody wants to sell it to you.
Because it's like a collector's item.
It's really good.
That
also all
that
John
makes me
Carpenter's work, you know.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Yeah. I mean, John Carpenter. He's the way I did Halloween.
Halloween
right?
and The Thing.
Two classics.
Right.
Yeah. Two classics.
He also wrote Halloween 3.
Yes, wasn't that the one that was like the pumpkins on their head?
Yeah.
Underrated, I will say.
That
like
film,
everyone hates it, but I think it's underrated.
Do you know the history of why 3 turned out the way it did?
Because Halloween wasn't originally supposed to be just about Mike Myers. It was supposed to be each new film was like a new Halloween-inspired horror.
Yep.
But
Every
the
year.
sequel came out and it was like Mike Myers Returns, and people thought, oh, Halloween's supposed to be a Mike Myers thing.
So the reason that Michael Myers returned, and this is just a little bit of trivia for y'all, is he did so well and he sold so much merchandising and he was so iconic that they were like, you have to put him in again or you're not getting any more money out of us. So they made the second film and they killed him in the end he burns inside of that building. And they got rid of the
I haven't seen the second one, so
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Trust me.
Don't worry about it because he comes back.
I know, but like also like old movies, like we all know the spoiler to Citizen Kane. I haven't seen, I'm not going to spoil it, but like I haven't seen Citizen Kane and I know the spoiler of it.
Actually, I want to talk about a little bit about memes in a second. I've been doing more and more research ever since we had that big conversation. Brian, you'll be entered into this little weird philosophy. I had a cool thought to last week.
All right.
You know, because this show kind of happens on like a in-between week rotation for us. But sleep, I have seen multiple times, or have been told multiple times, by quote-unquote boomers, that you don't know real tired, or you don't get to be tired, or like, welcome to the adult world. Like, stop with that attitude.
I think my take on that is, when they say tired, I think they know physically. I think they know physical tired. Our generation, especially us in college, we know mental tired.
See, I've worked a night shift job, 10-hour shifts, 5 days a week. I come in, like, you're going to bed, I wake up, and I'm like, hey, how's everyone doing? And they're like, I'm tired. And I was like, that makes sense. You just worked all day.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go do that. And then whenever I come in, they're like, it's morning. How could you be tired? Like, you know.
It's a night shift. I mean, it's
you
like,
know. But then also, they're like, you're young. You don't get to be tired. And I was like, you know.
Here's my take on the whole like idea of like we don't know real tired, like we don't get to be tired mentality that a lot of these boomers have, and it's that you don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know what's going on in your life. Don't tell me like what I'm thinking.
I think the problem here is like this sort of assumed youth and like energy that they're pushing onto us.
They assume youth is spoiled.
Yeah, like Brian, how old?
We have phones, therefore we must have an easy life because they didn't have phones.
You're turning 25. You work 2.5 jobs. Right? You're like a large adult. In that level of like you got a lot of responsibility on your shoulders and stuff. And yet a 30-year-old can walk in and it's totally socially acceptable to be like, I work more than you.
No, like
that's incorrect. But social, like if you two were at the bar or something, not a bar, but like a restaurant, and once someone was gonna come up to that and like drop that at you, if you made the remark of like, man, I'm tired, they'd be like, you're not tired, you're still young.
You know what's funny?
That's why you gotta go everywhere in your high V's.
You know what's funny?
Just buy a pair of high V's, and then just go to the restaurant in there. Because here's the Mike Nolan philosophy. If any of y'all haven't seen Big Les, the Big Les show, look him up, watch it. Phenomenal animated series on YouTube. But the Mike Les philosophy is, you could be sitting at a bar all day in your high V's and no one will bug you because they think, that's right, drink that beer. You earned it, big man. You've been working all week. But if you go in there with like a button-up shirt, they're gonna be like, give this guy a hard hat and a shovel. Make him work. He's clearly not working.
It's a high V, Jay.
Okay, you know those like yellow vests.
Yeah, high visibility.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, a high V.
Let me say this.
Yes.
Prime example. This is my schedule for tomorrow. This is my schedule tomorrow.
Got it.
I wake up at 7:30. Take my shower. I have to do the morning show here.
Right.
From 8 to 9.
Yes.
So watch this. From after 9, from 9:25 to 10:40, that's class 1. From 10:50 to 12, that's class 2. Not to mention, class 2 is broadcast journalism. So we're actually doing the text and news. So not only will I be staying at the class, I leave there around 1:20.
And you got to stay there also once a week for the radio.
Yeah,
I got the actual news.
Yeah, I have to stay there once a week. So, and tomorrow's my day. So on top of, after that's done, 1:40 to 2:55, I have Kirk's class, my third class.
Right.
When I get out of that class, literally, me and Kirk walk to the radio station together because I have to work here from 3 to 6. Then on top of that, I have a little break because I have to do the student radio from 8 to 10. Then my day is over. Now, some people might say, "Oh, you just going to class." I am productive in all those classes. I am doing something. Like, this is my job.
Because
you
didn't explain, but Kirk's class is video production and editing. Right?
Yes.
I am in that.
So it's like, on top of me working here at the radio station, I'm learning what I'm doing at the same time.
Yeah.
At all the jobs.
Yeah.
So like I say, it's more
and
of
producing.
you know what I'm saying? So it's more of a mental game than it's a physical game. If you ask me how I feel physically, I'll tell you, I feel good. But mentally, I am tired. I have legit been working 7-8 days straight.
Here's the thing. I do think that a lot of like boomer type people, I do think they do exhibit a lot more like of a physical strain on their body than we do. So I think that's why they think like, oh, you're not tired. You're like, you have been like sitting in your comfy air conditioned thing. I think the younger generation is exerting a lot more mental strain,
Yes.
which could potentially be more damaging to the self. I mean,
like,
maybe not.
If you burn out your computer, it doesn't matter how strong the body is.
Yeah, exactly.
Your eggs
You know,
cooked.
exactly. You know, you could be as strong, healthy, as fit as you can, but if you're like constantly just
working at your
work, like let that CPU fry, it breaks. That's your like you can't replace your brain. You know, it's not like a computer.
Yep.
It's done.
Well, you know, actually, something that's actually funny about sleep, interesting fact I learned, is that the human body is not supposed to handle 8 hours of sleep continuously, but 2 4-hour periods of sleep. Do you know that?
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Oh my God. That's blowing my mind because recently I always thought my sleep schedule was screwed up because I've been going to bed and then waking up 4 hours and staying awake and then going back to bed for 4 hours and I'd wake up at 4 hours.
There you go.
Oh my God. I was actually in the
You were
right.
fine.
I was in the right.
Yeah, you remarked yesterday how you were trying to fix your sleep schedule
them all
by
together.
pushing it all together. You said that you woke up, you then did a bunch of exercises, and they tired you out a bit, so you went back to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, my sleep schedule's been like wonky for the past month, actually. It's a lot of times I've been going to sleep at 3 because I just am not tired.
Yeah.
But then I wake up at like 10.
Yeah.
And
That's more of that mental strain that we've been talking about as well. Your body is sort of always been, biologically, that internal clock.
Yeah.
Has been the limiter on when is it time to be tired.
Yep.
That tells your brain, like, okay, now my brain can start being tired.
Yeah.
But when you've sat at the computer all day, or you've sat in class all day, so, you're sitting, you're doing something, you're calculating, or you're formulating, or you're producing.
Your mind
from your
is still
ideas.
working.
You get done, and your body's confused because it's fine. It's not been doing a single thing all day, but keeping you at like a basic homeostasis. On the other end, your brain is cooked, cannot do a single thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of this like sort of, I know exactly what you're talking about as well. Working night shift, I'd get out, I wouldn't see sunlight until 6:30 a.m. when I'd get done with my shift, right? And so I'd walk out, and I would go to a 10-hour shift, and then we had a gym on site at the place that I used to work. It was a little strange. It's a Fortune 500 company that had a electronic parts distribution. One time, I put together a whole pallet of computer parts for NASA.
Okay.
So like they do a lot of project jobs, and they just do wholesale distribution of computer parts. We're talking transistors, processors, jewel thieves, the whole like every single component you can make. It's like a Fry's for big companies.
Yeah.
Right. And so I like walked out of I would clock out. I then go in and work out for a half hour to an hour, and then I'd walk out, and that's when everyone had like left the parking lot, because it was always a pain to get out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
We had a couple of kids come in who like were real speed demons and like to jump out of the parking lot at 30, so they put in speed bumps, so it takes a half hour to get out anyways. But I would like see the sunlight, and then my brain would just turn back on. After moving boxes for 10 hours, you don't think too much. So at like 6:30 hits, my body is physically exhausted. My brain turns on, and my body is just like, all right, we're back up and running. It's daytime. Time to go. And I'm like, no, please. Please don't. I had to install blackout shades and a room heater just to like adjust it to make it feel like it was nighttime.
Yep.
So I could sleep. Otherwise, I'd stay up till 3 p.m.
It's gotten to the point for me. It's gotten to the point where if I go home after a class, if somebody cancels class, my body gets excited because it knows once we hit this bed, it was
done.
I'm done.
Like, we're dead.
I'm not waking up. Even I had 2 alarms go off. Separate, like one was at 10 and the other was at 12 on like Monday. It was just like it is like you're sitting here. We're asleep. We're resting. Like
your brain hears it and it's kind of like, hey, we should turn that off. You're like, your body just sort of puts a big, healthy hand over you.
Like,
it says, we don't have to worry about it.
You know it's just
we both know that timer will run out.
You know, it's like you're good. You're good. Especially if a professor says. They send an email saying, class is canceled. My brain says, well, you know what we're doing.
I feel that, man.
You know what we're doing.
I feel that.
That's why I don't like professors that cancel class. Like we wait till we get to class and then like, oh yeah, we're canceling class. No, email me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. No,
I'm busy.
No, you know what's even worse? This is something even worse, and this happened to me my first year when I lived in Granbury. I don't remember if he sent a Blackboard notification. I just didn't get it. Because and that's why I don't want to throw shade on this guy, because he could be completely in the right.
Go ahead.
Put a poster on his door that said class was canceled, and it was my only class of the day. I was not working at the radio station. There's literally nothing going on.
Was this back when you lived in Granbury?
And it was back when I lived in Granbury.
So that's 2 hours of your day burned.
Completely shot. I was so... I don't want to say the P word because we can't.
You were livid.
I was super livid.
Very excited.
I was like steamed. I was like.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, I know it's like with alarms and stuff you were talking about before, because I have an alarm called Alarmy on my phone. Literally, to turn it off, I have to solve math problems.
Oh, I've heard about those.
Yes, it is actually it helps you get out of bed a lot. But I've had those nights where I've been just super exhausted, super tired. And I sleep right through it. I see the alarm went off 10 minutes ago. I solved the problems, and I head back to sleep. And apparently, when I wake up, I'm like, did I do the freaking problems? What?
You're so good at basic algebra nowadays, you don't even have to think.
Is there a way to customize that?
Yes, to make it like super hard problems.
Well, no. I'm talking like different subjects, because I'm in the process of wanting to learn Japanese.
Ooh.
Do it to where like I have to learn how to like write certain kanji.
That would be
I would
secretly helpful.
Please. I'm like, I don't care about any potential money.
This is a public service announcement now coming from Jake.
Yes, like
he requires a coding expert and/or an applications maker for mobile phones.
You can make all the money. I will pay for this idea. Like
he simply wishes an alarm system that when he wakes up, it tells him to write out a certain symbolization of Japanese words, such that when he does it correctly, it undoes the alarm and lets him go back to bed.
Like just 3 random kanji a day, and that would be perfect.
That would be perfect. It can do like 6 different things right now. You can shake it, and you can set how hard you want to shake it, so you have to like strangle your phone in order to turn it on, or try to turn it off. You can take a picture of, like if you take a picture of something. Then you have to take a picture of the same thing in the morning. Math problems. you have to scan a QR or barcode in the morning,
Ooh.
or you have to have a memorization game. There is typing, and there is walking.
The problem with typing is that part of the memorization process for Japanese is learning how to write. I have a kanji memorization app that's used to help me study, and it makes me write it like you would write it on paper.
Yeah, there's a certain sort of symbol you have to draw through.
Yeah,
it's
like
a different
it's
categorization.
yes, absolutely.
And it's phonetic, right?
Like, what do you mean?
It uses phonetic combination of symbols.
Sort of.
I don't want to
it's
pull into it. It's a whole other thing.
It's
right?
really complicated. One of these days we can have a discussion on it, but let's plan for that next time because it's big discussion.
Well, speaking of discussions, we had a bit of a conversation in the office. Brian, I believe you were there.
What the?
Y'all believe in horoscopes?
Oh,
yes. We
yes.
Did. Yes, I was.
Yes,
So I'm gonna pull this website up, and we're just gonna go through real quick.
You're gonna like this.
I heard this on Twitter. It seems every conversation that we have that's major and stuff like that comes from Twitter. From you.
It's caught on to us, Jake.
Yeah.
So this is the website by Thought Catalog. Here's how many serial killers were born in each zodiac sign. We're gonna roll through this.
What's your sign? What's your sign, corn dog?
I told him this was Pisces.
Pisces.
Oh, I think there's a good one. I think there's a lot of good ones in yeah.
Let me run through this. Taurus, Gemini.
While he's doing that, let's all say what our signs are. So you say you're Pisces.
And how interested in the whole concept you are.
I am personally I'm not one of those people who gets really into astrology. I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not one of those weirdos who are super. I personally think it's all just fun and games.
Yep.
But I do like looking up romance. What's it called? Like romance compatibility. Yeah, but I don't take it seriously. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That character I like is compatible with this character I like. You know. Like character in anime or something.
Oh, when they actually give star signs and such.
Well, in Japan, it's a lot more common to see people give characters actual birthdays.
Oh.
It's like a thing. It's like birthdays and oddly enough blood type. Yeah,
I
blood
heard
type
the blood type one.
Yes, but that's like a cultural thing in Japan.
The cultural thing of that is type A personality, type B
Yeah,
personality stems off of those blood
types
right?
are very similar to how we view zodiacs here. But what's it called? They still give anime characters official birthdays. You know, you're laughing, but I think that's really cool.
It's interesting.
Really, I love figuring out what my favorite characters' birthdays are and just kind of having a celebration for them. Yeah. You know, it's cool.
Hey man,
it's cool.
That is probably the healthiest concept in a fandom that I have ever heard of.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, I have seen a lot of things on the internet when it comes to fans doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into that, but that's a really healthy way to go about it, Jake. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Pisces.
Yeah, Pisces.
Corn dog. Your top serial killer.
Oh yeah, Gacy.
John Wayne, the clown killer Gacy.
John
33
Wayne.
33 to 34 victims.
You know, you're familiar with John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
All right.
Clown man.
Yeah, for the people who don't know, I think
let's not get too graphic here.
No. I understand. For the people who don't know, he lived in, I think, Illinois. And the reason why I know that is because there's a song about him off of Sufjan Stevens' album, Illinois. That's how I know where he's from, because that album's just all about everything from Illinois. The point is that he would dress up as a clown to entertain kids' parties. But, he sometimes maybe wear it while he killed people, and maybe not. His whole gimmick was he went after teenage boys, and he was a very, he was like a neighborhood counselor kind of guy. I'm not sure, a city counselor,
very approachable.
board of education, incredibly approachable. That's how he got a lot of people. He would be
entrapment.
Yeah, what he would do is he'd say to a teenage boy hey, you want to come to my house? I got some jobs for you to do. And they would know this guy. They would see, hey, yeah, that's old Gacy. Yeah, he's pretty rich. He has some
he's
stuff.
Well off and lives entirely on his own.
So well, not even well off. He had a wife.
Oh.
That's the crazy thing. He had a wife. But he was also gay. You know, so he was like closeted. That's why he went after boys, but not girls.
That gets into a lot of this whole reasoning.
Yes, but like he his whole thing was like he was very, very heavily abused as a child. He got like he had an accident on a swing, and that's where a lot of people say is when a lot of his mental issues came up.
Pushed forwards.
Yes. But yeah, he would like lure people in, like lure like teenage boys in with like offers of, hey, you want to like help work on my roof, and when they're inside he'll like maybe give them a beer, and they'll be like, oh, that's cool, well, Gacy's giving me a beer, make them all comfortable, and then he'd get them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm gonna ask real quick, is it if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but the zodiac signs are assigned by your birthday, is that correct?
Yes.
So we can go there real quick.
Yeah, because like
mine's the old zodiacs.
Mine's a week from today, so.
Oh, nice.
Zodiac.
Yeah, right.
Signs. They're based on dates.
Yeah,
they're
but it's not
direct,
exact months.
It's not exact months. It had an old setup, so here we go. The Cosmopolitan. What is my stars? I don't care. Okay, so here are the dates. Aries dates are March 21st to April 19th. Aries is the first.
Yep. Yes.
So y'all already noticed that this sort of calendar is skewed from the standard calendar that we exist by.
Right.
Taurus dates April 20th to May 20th.
Which that's you, Ethan.
I'm in there.
Yeah.
We've got Gemini dates. Yeah, my dad is an Aries, and my brother and I are Taurus. Gemini dates May 21st to June 20th. We've got Cancer from June 21st to July 22nd. Leo the July 23rd to August 22nd. Virgo August 23rd
That's you, right, Brian?
to September 22nd. All right. We got Libra September 23rd to October 22nd. You notice a lot of 20s, sort of like the third week is when everything kind of cuts off, it seems.
Yeah.
What do we got? Scorpio, October 23rd to November 22nd. They're 21st. Sagittarius is my mother. Or Capricorn, one of them. No? Sagittarius. Because I know her actual birthday. Sagittarius dates, November 22nd to December 21st.
Sagittarius, right here.
Capricorn dates are December 22nd through January 19th. So Capricorn gets to split the year. They crest that. Aquarius, January 20th to February 18th. Pisces are February 19th to March 20th. Now there are some symbols that go along with them, and then a little bit more like advanced things that you can look into.
Like cusps, you know,
And,
what planets are in like retrograde.
There's what was it? There was an entire like app that whenever I was working night shift, I met a couple people who were really into the spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
Like we had an entire conversation one day just about crystals. And like their significance and what they have the ability to do.
I do not believe in crystals.
Neither do I.
I'm gonna throw that out there.
They're real. They're the entire reason we work in radio. But as for like spiritual significance, I have.
Yeah, that's like when I say spiritual. Like when I say I don't believe in crystals, I don't believe in their spiritual significance.
You don't think they're even real, Jake? You've never seen a crystal.
I've seen a crystal, and every
time
I've seen a crystal, it turned out to be a hologram. Sorry for almost shouting.
I didn't see that one coming, Jake. You've gotten me. Thank you very much.
Jake?
Yeah.
Leave.
Okay.
No.
Leave.
No.
No, we need him. We need him now. So this all spurred on because we noticed that Jake had actually thrown up a tweet, and I thank you because you slandered the tweet because it said that Taurus had the most serial killers under them.
Which is also very much false.
Which is very false when we went through this list.
It's very false, and also, like, why are you bringing, like this sort of pseudoscience nonsense to try and determine whether or not someone is a killer? That just irritates me to no end. Yeah, like, that's so, like, just...
But they're people. Like, depending on their birth, like, yes, there's a lot of things that determine what goes into a person's birth, but there's a lot that goes into their upbringing as well. I mean, the entire novel, Frankenstein, by Mary Shelley, argues that entire statement of, is man born evil, or is man created
Nature versus
evil?
nurture.
Nature versus nurture, exactly. I would argue it's a bit of both. You kind of are born in a certain direction.
I definitely
and you get curved one way or another.
I definitely think we are all kind of naturally evil. I'm a very strong proponent of the feral child, because I think that if you are not raised well, then you're not going to, like, conform to
So you're a Heart of Darkness
society.
lover.
Well,
I suppose I haven't read it.
Oh, I recommend. I don't recommend it. It's a lot of
I
really
heard
awful imagery.
I've heard it's good. No, here's the thing though, Ethan.
Uh-huh.
I don't mind awful imagery at all.
No, sorry. It's the word dark appears on every page at least 5 times.
Okay,
Like,
so it's
dense.
not okay. Let me get this straight. It's awful not in the fact that the imagery is offensive.
No.
It's awful in the fact that the imagery is not well made and well executed.
The problem is it's. You ever like watch somebody go through every permutation of a pun and have a blast doing it, but it's not adding to the joke anymore?
Yeah,
That's chapter 3.
Okay.
Okay.
You get it's just like I get it.
Maybe
Like men are evil, like inherently they are born feral, and society is the mask that we put up. I get it.
Well,
Like I get it.
I would like to read it.
It's a short story.
Maybe as like an audiobook or something while I'm on the drive.
I'm pretty sure it's out of copyright. You can find it.
well, in terms of human nature, I've actually learned this in my federal government class.
Uh-oh.
Humans. Oh, hush. Well, we can talk about that another time. But the thing is, I've learned about this in my federal government class. Is that humans are always born as antisocial creatures, independent creatures, and the only reason that we are social, the main reason, is because what we cannot do by ourselves, we can do in a group.
Yeah.
So think about this: if you have 2 people that are floating in the water after a shipwreck or whatever,
Yeah.
and there is one piece of wood there, and there would be no repercussions for whatever happens, what do you think is gonna happen? Are you gonna go for the board, or are you gonna give it to somebody else?
I'm gonna go for it.
Exactly. Boom. Now that does not mean you're inherently evil, but you're looking out for number 1.
Selfish.
There you go.
Yeah. Here's
Self-centered.
here's another thing I sort of see as in favor of like nurture more than nature being the cause of it is and this is kind of a tangent,
Yeah, go on.
this is like a stretch. I don't remember if it was you told me this, if it was someone else, or if it was like an article I
What's
saw
the quote?
online. It was basically more of it. It was
now
more.
my honor's on the line, Jake. Good.
I don't know if my
ahead,
whole
go ahead.
okay. It's not a quote. It's like an experiment they did on like children, where they would put on like scary faced masks, like objectively scary, horrifying stuff, and kids who are like infants, like month-year-olds, like 1-year-olds, didn't detect anything. Like
no abnormality.
no, like they just saw it and they just were like, that's a thing.
No contact.
You know, but once they hit age 2, they started crying. And the reason why they say that is because their minds haven't realized what is and isn't normal. So it's a matter of like once they realize what a normal face is, once they built up on like the idea of what a normal face is, they put on the mask that has like horns and like stuff jutting out, and it's all red and white and black and all these colors, and it's like very noisy to the visual like spectrum. They see that and they think this isn't normal, it must be hostile, and they start crying.
Yep.
So y'all are familiar with this concept, the same color illusion?
Yep. I am.
The point where, you know, which one of these is lighter, which one of these is darker.
Yeah.
Brian?
What's up?
You're good.
No, I got
You're familiar with this?
my group message is popping for this group project.
Uh-oh.
So,
Gotcha.
You gotta go? You good?
no, that's everybody else is trying to get their part done.
I see.
You're good. You're good.
You're ahead of
All
the curve.
right.
Yes.
So you're familiar with this concept though here. So here's the image.
Yeah.
A and B, are you able to see block A and B?
I can see.
Yep.
Which one's lighter and which one's darker?
They're all the same.
This is a mind game because it's like, is it defined by
No.
like the shadow or?
Click the one that's over there. The two
Okay.
no, the 2 bars. The 2 bars that are right next to it. To the right of it. Yeah, that
Yes.
one. Now put your finger between the crease of those two, and you can see that they are the same color. Yeah.
So what your brain is doing here, and this is something that scientists have picked up on, and you'll notice that actually most of these tiles are the same color.
Yeah.
That's sort of the trick here. These two, brown or this one, immediately your brain sort of thinks dark brown here, light brown here. Yes.
Yeah.
So, interesting enough, what we found out is that this only really works on. Hang on. Full pen. this illusion, you can only really test it on adults because it requires a little bit of higher level brain function, whereas toddler can't really focus too well, just due to the nature of energy. What they were able to sort of figure out is they did some scientists did a couple of things early on that were like, dealt with something similar of like connotation with color.
Yeah.
The younger that people got, the harder it was for them to sort of denote that like this and this are the same color. Like when adults saw it, they like were able to break the illusion after they like saw the trick, and they're like, oh, I get it now. Like I see, it's relative of most color and stuff. And then the younger they got on the trying to remember the words here.
You got this.
English. The younger they got on their test subjects, they found that they were like immediately when they like went to look back at the image, they're like, no, I don't think so. This sort of doubt came in, and what we were able to sort of speculate from this, along with a few other tests, is that object permanence and related concepts, as in this, this room and everything in front of me exists within a building that is fixed in space and time, for the most part, relatively. All of those concepts of like, this room's attached to the room next to it, which is attached to the building, which is right next to the parking lot. Humans don't innately have that. They develop it as they experience the world.
Yep.
We are designed to be impressionable by the world we experience. So what they found is that like, you know how you can like take a ball away and a kid has no idea where it went? It ceased to exist now?
Yeah.
That could very well be true.
It's like the peekaboo thing too.
Exactly, peekaboo thing.
It's like
they have no object permanence.
It's like a Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah, a Schrodinger's cat of objects. Well, they don't even think it that far through.
Yeah, because
it's not there. There's no proof of it existing now, so it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And what that does is cause very interesting sort of relation into how we develop as people. It sort of shows like the ability to keep up with these things.
Which is why people who say, to loop back around to it, that Zodiac causes people to be inherently more violent or not,
there we go,
are stupid.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
if
you genuinely think that something as like completely uncredible as like astrology is a determinant to
who you are.
Yeah, to determine who you are as a person, you're dumb. I'm sorry. Like, that's harsh.
Because a baby cannot even determine between two of the same color.
Yeah.
At all.
There's no way that it is able to be born, like, with diabolical plans.
Yeah.
That has to be, like, learned.
Yeah.
If you let the zodiac signs and everything, horoscopes determine your life, I'm not gonna your sheep. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There it is.
Your sheep.
There it is.
Your sheep.
Well, some people do look for leadership.
That is true. That's why cults exist.
But then again, the blind leading the blind.
A lot of people died in Guyana because they like to follow a very charismatic man with shades named Jim Jones.
Speaking of another charismatic man, I didn't know this, but a couple of y'all did. Gordon Ramsay visits Stephenville on a regular basis.
No, I did not know that until you just brought it up to me.
Really?
Corndog was telling me about this earlier today. I knew that he was in town last semester. He was in for the rodeo and barbecue.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he frequents.
Yes. He comes there every semester for the barbecue and the rodeo.
That is genuinely really cool.
Really?
Props for Stephenville for having something that actually impresses me.
If I remember the date right, it was September 19th.
All right, September 19th. Thank you, Jake. You cooked him.
I mean, I'm sorry. That came by with me when I was looking at Facebook yesterday during the show and everything. I'm like, are you serious? Gordon Ramsay came to Stephenville and he was just chilling, eating barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
now that's gotta be good barbecue if Gordon Ramsay is eating it.
And didn't make a show on it.
Exactly.
Just about to say, like, if he's a world-renowned chef, and two, a very good food critic, I'm surprised he likes some tailgate chili or some sausage or something smoked.
There is something to be said about food created from a humble beginning.
I think
the basis of soul, yes.
Me personally, I love Gordon Ramsay. The only thing is about him cooking, he just makes it look good.
Yeah.
I think anybody can do what he did. It's just he makes it look good.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
But
We do eat with our eyes.
You know what I'm
Presentation,
saying?
yeah.
I think he just make it look. Cause I know certain people who wouldn't use the spices that he used, but it still smacks.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, there's a lot of food. Like everyone knows this on this podcast. I'm a picky eater.
Yep.
If Gordon Ramsay handed,
Zach as well. You.
if Gordon Ramsay handed me like,
I'll eat everything too.
if Gordon Ramsay handed me a dish that had like all these stuff that I didn't like onions and lettuce and like all this stuff.
All right, hold on. Let's put the scenario together correctly,
Okay.
scientifically.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not a chef, so you.
Gordon Ramsay is going to give you a dish that is one thing you like, topped and flavored and adjusted with everything you don't like, such that it's a balanced meal and
Yes.
it would work on a conventional palate.
Yes.
He is not going to hit you or yell at you if you don't like it. He's asking for genuine critique and he's going to take it with him.
Okay.
Would you be scared at all?
I would be scared of like.
Would you eat it?
I would eat 100%. I would eat it.
Would you clean your plate?
I don't know.
No,
That's the thing. I'm not confident enough to say that I would clean my plate because.
The man put mushrooms on beef Wellington.
Yeah.
That's wacky to me.
Yeah.
Would
you still clean your plate?
Yes.
For me,
Oh, of course.
I have thought.
I grew up hating mushrooms. I would clean that beef Wellington. It's free food.
I have thought about this multiple times, and this is like an open challenge. If Gordon Ramsay ever hears this,
Yeah.
I challenge him to make me like vegetables. I challenge him to serve me something that
He
has these vegetables and all this stuff that I absolutely hate.
Like 80% vegetables, right?
No, I'm talking like if he can make me a salad that with ingredients like if it had chicken stuff in here that he made, that's fine too.
Mhm.
But if he can make me something that I normally would hate,
Yes.
and I'd like it,
Mhm.
I will have my eternal respect for him.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I
So
still.
this is a
respect-
challenge to Gordon
Respect
Ramsay.
the man already, but if he swings in during chili season, might not make you a salad, but there's always a chance, right?
Yeah.
If he can just cook like 3 steaks for me, I would be just fine.
Just 3.
Just 3.
Yeah.
I don't even want him to cook anything. I just want to get involved with his marketing team. You see the amount of shows that he can get produced under his name.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's
If
like,
I could just
how many
meet,
shows
if I
now?
could
6?
meet, he's so he's got MasterChef. He has all of the MasterChef International series.
Kitchen Nightmares,
Kitchen
24 Hours.
Nightmares.
He has the
Hell
one
Back.
with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kitten.
Like he has a kids
What's
show.
that? The original
Master
Hell's
Chef
Kitchen?
Junior. Master
Yeah.
Chef
The
Junior.
original Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef Junior. You've got Hotel Hell, it's his
Yes,
hotel
Hotel
review
Hell.
show, and then he's got his own individual YouTube channel.
Yes.
He tours like other people's stuff constantly, and then he owns restaurants above that.
What's the show where he?
And he has a balanced family life too. Didn't
Like
know
he's
that?
like
His bulldog's name is Rumples.
he,
What's
he's
the-
one of like it's one of those things where like people don't know like world famous chefs like by name. They're
Right.
not a household name.
No.
But
You
Gordon
don't even
Ramsay
know
is.
local
Gets
chefs
himself
by
out
name.
there.
Yes.
You don't know who works the grills at Montana's.
Yeah, or like
Not all 3 of you have no idea. I do because I work there.
like
That's it.
I live and go to the Crawford Deli,
You
and
live
I
at Crawford Deli.
I don't know any of the
You live
people
in the
there by
back
name.
of Crawford Deli, don't you?
I live behind
You
Crawford
live
Deli.
on,
Yes.
Yeah, you live on top of Crawford Deli. I knew it.
I'm just up there
You're a
with
gremlin.
I'm just up there, arms raised,
Gargoyles.
screaming, and
I just work at the
with
CC's, it's directly across from
yeah,
us. So
yeah.
it was
He's
you.
seen me. He's seen me.
I have.
You haven't seen my eyes though. They bleed
Too far
green.
away.
Yeah, they bleed green.
They what?
Yeah.
They bleed
It's like
green.
it's like not real blood.
It's the prop stuff from
Well,
the tattoo
it's not the
shop.
props. It's organic.
No, it's the prop stuff.
No,
from
it's
the tattoo
organic.
shop.
It's organic, but the green stuff is like dye from the tattoo shop.
Yeah, organic dye.
Well, no, it's not all. It's synthetic dye in an organic substance that isn't technically blood.
You're crying.
Yes, I'm crying.
Jake, you cry, baby.
You're crying verde salsa.
Yeah. Be a big baby. A big spooky baby.
When?
Jeez.
Yeah.
So Gordon Ramsay visits Stephenville. If we can get him on the show.
If we
Oh
could-
my
What's
God.
That could happen.
what serial
That'd be
killer is Gordon Ramsay's zodiac?
Oh, jeez.
What
Okay.
we gotta figure that
Hold
out.
on, let me
When's
look up
his
Gordon.
birthday?
I'll look it up.
I don't know his birthday,
You look up the zodiac.
but I do
I have
know.
the zodiacs up here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
You
do
just need his
know.
birthday.
I do know that he does have a birthday because he is alive.
Are you certain?
I
He's
am-
done so much for this world.
I'm pretty sure.
November 8th.
November 8th.
Oh, he's close to mine. I think that makes him a Scorpio.
Maybe.
Let's go for real.
Keyboard ain't working. Okay.
Cause that's early November, cause Sagittarius is like late November, early
Zach.
December.
You were right. He's Scorpio.
Yeah, I know that because
Okay, so-
I know Scorpio is like in front of Sagittarius, which is mine.
Scorpio. He had Alton Coleman.
He had Charles Manson. I was about to say Marilyn Manson, but he had Charles Manson.
Nanny the Giggling Granny Doss. Belle, Hell's Bell, Guinness. Oh. That just makes sense, some of this stuff. William the Lipstick Killer. Charles Manson.
Okay.
And Carl Eugene the Sunday Morning Slasher.
Before you go
His
to
most
church,
fa-
he's gonna get you.
Yeah,
Yep.
his most famous one is definitely
Charles Manson.
good old Charles Manson.
Yep.
Mr. Carve a swastika right into his
I
forehead.
think mine,
There's
they got
a-
Jed. They got Jed.
What you got? Virgo?
He had Ginn. He had Ed Gein,
Yeah.
aka the guy who inspired the Texas Chainsaw
It's
Massacre.
down. It's down.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't kill a lot of people, but he robbed a lot of
Right there.
graves.
Virgo.
Oh my gosh, it's a lot better.
So you got Rodney the Date Game Killer. You
That guy's
Richard
creepy.
the
That guy's creepy.
Richard the Angel of Death. You got Paul the Schoolgirl Killer. That's upsetting. Richard the Thrill Killer. Albert the Boston Strangler. That's one of those classy ones.
Yeah, I've
Like,
heard of.
That's something you hear when it's like,
And that's a funny thing. I love Boston, so that's kind of I'm gonna
uh-oh,
Brian, please.
FBI, open up!
Hey,
where are the 13 victims, Brian?
Brian.
all I'm gonna say is this: I ain't got caught yet. No.
Oh.
I have not got
He works
caught
2.5 jobs to pay for
Hey,
tickets to
trust
the
me,
train.
I work 2.5 jobs, and I'm almost full-time college student. I have alibis all day.
Yeah, he does the.
because he's always working.
Like legit, like, I can see you right now. So where were you?
It's like, where do you think he gets his victims? At work.
Well, I said, they'd be like,
My managers.
Yeah.
no.
But there's a meme about Gordon Ramsay,
Mhm.
him being like, someone serving him a glass of water, he sips it, spits it out, and says, "It's dry. Make it again."
Yeah, absolutely dreadful.
No, but the date show killer is really obscure, but he's like, I think he's probably one of the most creepy serial killers because he appeared on, like, as his name said, he appeared on like date shows,
Oh.
and like that's how he got them.
That was the whole
That
setup.
was like a pretty big, like, he was, I think, a criminal when he first showed up on the date show, but that wasn't like aired because that's not good for TV. But then once he like dated like the first one, like I don't remember if he won and she was the victim or he lost
And
and
then
like
she
she
was
was
the victim.
lucky. I don't think that she made contact with him if he didn't win. But the point is that his whole rise to fame was that you can find footage of him
On the
sitting
dating show.
on the dating show
Wow.
and like answering all these like corny lovey-dovey questions.
That's the thing.
So he would love catfish if he was.
Oh, yeah.
Like he would love catfish and cheaters and everything.
That catfish usually ends up the guy being in the upside down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he'll be upset. Period. Just.
That's true.
I don't think he'll be upset.
Something that I did notice, which might be why that tweet originally came out about Tauruses being the most notorious or like being the most serial killers,
Yeah.
they have the most interesting names.
Oh yeah, like Albert
Stop.
Fish.
Stop, I'm not there.
Okay.
So we got Martha, the Lonely Hearts Killer, Beck,
Yeah.
between 3 to 17 victims. A lot of these, if y'all notice, have like ranges on their victims. I assume that's just because like unconfirmed numbers. We've got Albert, the Moon Maniac Fish.
Albert Fish is creepy.
The
as
Moon
hell.
Maniac. Is this his picture right here? Yeah, that is with Albert Fish. Wears a good top bowler hat. Has way too powerful cheekbones.
Yeah.
We've got Amy Archer Gilligan. That's just a cool name. We've got the infamous H.H. the Torture Doctor Holmes.
Classic.
So, tourists,
Classic.
turn up. You've got yourself a murder hotel
It's like
under your star.
it's funny because like when I was reading those off to you,
Yeah.
like I was like you're like, oh, these are kind of like lame killers,
I've
and
never
then
heard of these. You said that, and I just jumped up.
yeah,
on my
I was
chair.
like, it's like, oh, and this is the last one, the most well-known, H.H. Holmes. He's like,
we did it.
yeah,
We did it, boys.
ladies and gentlemen,
No wonder we got it.
we got him.
We got, ladies and gentlemen, We got him. Oh, I always love those little meme
Oh, those are
compilations.
phenomenal.
Finally, Earl, the Gorilla Killer Nelson. That's a powerful name.
The Gorilla Killer.
The Gorilla Killer? Are
So,
you
you know how
serious?
gorillas fight,
Alright.
right?
Did he kill gorillas?
So the way that name works, because of how the English language works, he either killed a gorilla, kills like a gorilla, or was known to be gorilla-like and just happened to be a killer.
I'm gonna go with.
What do we got? What? No, stop it. Brian first. What of the three?
I think he killed like a gorilla because.
Killed like a gorilla.
Because the way they can kill you just by punching you, like continuously beating you. So he probably just like.
So kills like a gorilla.
Yeah.
I'm with
What do you
Brian. Absolutely kills like a gorilla.
I'm gonna say between 1 and 3. Not only just to disagree with y'all, but because
I like it. The discourse creates
well,
interest.
it's not only that, but how would you leave marks that means he was killed by something like a gorilla?
Imagine a gorilla killing you, but like with a knife.
Think about this.
Like
when gorillas fight,
like doing like the arm flail.
Well,
Imagine
that
a
just
gorilla.
looks like a bunch of knife stabs.
No, but like
Thank you.
Or think
Thank you.
think it like this. Back, he's old. That's from back in the day.
I'll look him up.
It's
real
not
quick.
that recent. So back then they
Like-
didn't have. I mean, they had weapons, of course, but back in the day they used to fight a lot.
yeah.
So he probably legit was just beat on you.
I'm sorry, but if he doesn't look like a mashed pancake, then I don't think that it's killing like a gorilla.
Okay, so he doesn't look like a gorilla.
So
Okay.
that one's out.
That one's out.
Okay.
First known American serial sex murderer of the 20th century,
Oh,
born in San Fran, Cali.
okay.
Let's see. Bizarre behavior as a child, as they always seem to do for some
Yes.
reason. Compounded by head injuries while sustained in a bicycling accident. Those darn bicycles.
With a gorilla?
Well, there's a reason. Why was he was institutionalized for
You
his
can
early
control F
offenses.
like gorilla.
Oh yeah.
Keyboard shortcuts, ladies and gentlemen. Never forget them.
Gorilla. I put too many R's in.
Gorilla.
It just only goes to
Oh, that's a shame.
the bottom.
At least we got one out the way. At least we know.
Oh, modus operandi. Okay. So, when his identity was still unknown, the law enforcement surmised that Nelson was a predator who possessed a dual personality, likening him to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh.
However, his modus operandi was clear even to investigators at the time of the crime's occurrence. Nelson's victims were mostly landladies whom he would approach on the pretext of renting a room. Many of those victims were targeted after having placed room for rent advertisements in local newspapers. Nelson, well versed in Christian theology, often studied his worn Bible, using it to keep his victims at ease and off guard. Once he had gained their trust and was able to access their homes, he would kill them, almost always by strangling.
Okay, then there's your reason right there.
He would then hide the body under the nearest bed.
I'm still trying to find out where's the gorilla part from.
Yeah.
I think it'd be the strangling, maybe.
Do
So
gorillas-
kills like a gorilla.
Maybe
do
it
gorillas
is.
strangle? Do gorillas
I know they beat.
They do beat.
stranger? No.
Calm down, both of you.
Listen. I'm a monkey.
For theoretical.
I'm an ape.
Thank you, Google. Can you rear naked choke out a gorilla?
Thanks,
By-
Joe
by
Rogan.
Reddit. Thank you, Reddit user BJJ. So that goes nowhere. But like that sort of finalizes that whole thing about astrology and trying to attach it
Okay.
to
But I'm a
something real.
Sagittarius. We haven't gotten to me yet.
Oh damn it, Jane.
Oh man, I just can't leave me out.
Sagittarius. Where
Keep
are
going.
you?
One more.
Ted Bundy.
That's
Are
my
you
guy.
happy?
Yeah, Ted Bundy.
You got Teddy.
Oh, you also had Edmund the Co-Ed Butcher.
I'm actually
That one was apparently very wild. It was on Mindhunter, I believe.
I'll have to check
Love
that
that
out because
show.
I'm not familiar with that. I'm not
He
familiar.
like busted into in one night. I think if this is the correct guy, he broke into a dorm and like each one of the ladies came in. It was a co-ed dorm, so you had like men and women in the same place, but they came in like sort of one after another, and he just like nixed them one after another as they came in. to the dormitorium
Yeah.
and like hid them in the room. If I'm thinking of the correct one, it was an whole episode on the series
Gotcha.
Mindhunter. Close that tab. Moving on with Gorilla though.
All right.
2D has eyes again. Y'all big on Gorilla or the Gorillaz band?
I like the music. I don't keep up with the lore.
I ain't gonna lie. As far as gorillas, I just like the animal.
Oh man.
I think
Not interested in
you
this boy right here.
would like gorillas, Brian.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I know gorillas.
Jake,
Yeah.
walk through their music.
Okay, so they're kind of like this. So gorillas, if I would recall correctly, they're made by the Damon Albarn, the guy who was involved in Blur. Is that correct?
I'll grab this fan page. Oh no, it's just for 2D's fan page.
But they make this
Gorillaz.
really interesting combination. They're almost like a fusion. Yes, they're like a fusion of like hip hop and rock. That's like really God, how do you even describe them?
Virtual band created in
It's like
1998
punk rock.
by Damon
Yeah.
Albarn and artist Jamie Hewlett.
Yeah, so the whole idea is they're a band that's like they have like actual people performing, but it's like fictional characters. The sort of appeal of it is
They have a
that
comic book.
yeah, they do have a comic book. They like whenever they perform on stage, they do like holograms. You know, like how with like the Tupac hologram or like Hatsune Miku, like they have like people performing and having that performance be projected onto these like kind of fake
Cartoony
cartoony
personas.
looking people.
And each of those cartoon personas has lore.
Yes, they all have like their own backstories.
Let's go through the lore real quick.
But yeah, they're really good.
Look up Gorilla's character lore.
I do
What?
know gorilla. I do know about gorillas.
They're really good.
I really enjoy their. I mean, everybody knows the opening laugh to Feels Good Inc.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um, There's that.
Mhm.
Dare, Clint Eastwood.
It's Dare.
Yeah.
That song used to wake me up. What's that? Feels good. It used to wake me up on
Yeah.
MTV back when I was young. I used to watch it on MTV, like just it's Start Fresh. It used to come on like from like 4 to 8. They just played music videos back to back to
Yeah,
back. And they
Gorillaz.
used to play. So
That was
Yeah,
when
that was your
MTV
wake-up
actually worked
song.
about music.
yes.
Yeah, Gorillaz really
Right
is
at
like
the end.
old school like MTV core.
I'd say Gorillaz
And,
was at the end of that
Yeah, I would say that.
because they went into a full virtual band, which is their whole like breakout moment.
Yep.
Is because all right, so you have the 4 characters. You've got Murdoch. You've got 2D, which we showed earlier, and you've got Russell and Noodles.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, those are the characters.
So, each of their points were Murdoch. I think he has sort of the most obscure background. There's no one. He's just sort of like.
Murdoch, isn't he the he's the Satanist, right?
Yeah, he's a Satanist. He's the producer.
Yeah.
He's like all about. He's just like obviously a slimy guy.
Yeah.
And like a rough dude, but he's the band's producer and like
Yeah.
showrunner, and that's where he comes from. He's the manager in the stories. 2D is most of the vocals.
He's like he's the front man.
Yeah,
He's
2D's the front man. His eyes are black in
Yeah.
the art. If I believe correctly, one of his eyes he got like that in he got it hit with something, and so the reason they're black is because they're just filled with blood.
Yeah.
That is just like the way it is. His eyes are injured basically.
Yeah.
It's all black because of a car accident for one of them, and I think he got hit in the eye by Murdoch with the other.
Gotcha.
Both might have been because of Murdoch. There's a chance. I don't know exactly why. 100% on that one.
Yeah, he had hypemia. That's what it was.
Yes. Noodles, Russell used to live. He's sort of the hip hop aspect
he's
of the band.
He's the drummer, and he like this is the one bit of like Gorillaz lore I do know is
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
Russell has like a supernatural ability to bring back rappers from the dead, and that's how
Actually, specifically, he can bring back his one friend rapper. He was in a group. There was a shootout in his old neighborhood. All of his friends were killed, and they all possessed him.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons. Then whenever Russell does the whole spirit thing and out of his
Yeah.
body, that's him channeling his friend.
Gotcha. I always
And if I'm
assumed
wrong, correct me on Twitter.
I don't know. All I know is that like that's the reason why they were in lore able to get people like Del the Funky Homo Sapien
yeah.
and like MF Doom on their tracks.
I didn't know they were able to pull other rappers back.
That's what I thought.
Like,
I could,
lore-wise.
like I said, I'm not like invested in Gorillaz lore, so I'm probably
Yeah.
wrong. That's just what I've always
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And then we've got Noodles, who is the guitarist.
I always thought she was the bassist.
Bassist, that's right.
Yeah.
She, the stringed instrument. They all play very similar. I play them, so I know how similar they are.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not cooking anybody here. I'm making fun of me and Tim.
Yeah.
She simply showed up in a box one day after they put out an ad saying they needed someone to play strings for them, and she just shows up in the mail.
And she was like in the start of their
In the
band, she
start
was
of
like
it,
a
she's
like a
this
little
tall.
she was like a little kid,
Yeah,
and
she's a
then
little
like
kid.
now she's like an adult.
Now she's a full
So it's like
adult.
I really like the kind of dynamic they have with Noodle because you do get to
Mhm.
see her like grow up.
Yeah, especially in Escape to Plastic Beach. If you watch all the music videos in the lore order, that was whenever you saw Noodle doing sort of this rebellion thing. Her being hunted
Yeah.
by stuff. They go through a lot actually. You've got, what was it? So you've got, the original Phase 1 Celebrity Takedown, moving into, and there's like a whole like, just stuff happening. Like a bunch of stuff pre-Gorillaz that sort of led up to why they were where they were when they started, according to albums. And then I believe the crazy stuff started happening, I think, post Feels Good.
Gotcha.
Because in Feels Good, you'll notice the music video has like the floating windmill
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff. They keep that thing. So there's a music video that before that, or after Feels Good, but before the full 3D video. I've only watched like the lore. I love the music, but really I loved the fact that a band was doing lore like this. It was the same reason why I got into Umbrella Academy, because it was made by a band, and like these people can tell stories.
Yeah.
There was this guy that was hunting them, and he was the fifth horseman of the apocalypse. He was like Flatulence or something. Like he was
something goofy.
Yeah, something goofy, right? So that whenever he shows up later on, he just like hangs out at the place, just like, I thought you guys used to hunt 2D, but not anymore.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're at a house that gets foreclosed on, their party house. So they take the windmill and they go out to Plastic Beach, which is where like Plastic Beach, the album, comes. Russell on his way falls into the ocean, absorbs all of the plastic and radiation, gets giant, like gets huge.
Yeah.
And then Noodles is being hunted, or is hunting, and it kind of turns out she's like part robot.
Yeah. But
Maybe not. There's like an extra character in there. Recently, an interesting development is he's called the Boogeyman. That's what it is. There was later on they had a development where they had like a new manager showed up called Ace.
And that was the
Powerpuff Girls pull in. The Gorillaz, possibly, I don't know if it's been confirmed, I can't find it in here. They exist in or around the Powerpuff Girls universe.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Gorillaz lore is so cool.
That's interesting.
Right?
That's really like interesting to think about. That this like early band from the 90s like just decided, hey, like we're coming back. Let's.
Well, they never stopped producing. They just never charted as well as Feels Good.
Well, no. Like the thing is that there was what's it called?
What's up?
They're self-titled, then Feels Good, and then Plastic Beach, and then after that
there was Gorillaz Demon Days.
Or yeah, no, that's what I meant to say. Gorillaz, Demon Days,
Plastic Beach,
Plastic
and
Beach.
The Fall.
The problem with The Fall is that I thought most people just don't consider that like an actual part of their canon.
Oh, okay.
That's what I've at least like seen.
Just
is
a musical production.
It's like a project. It's like Damon Albarn like wanting to put something out there, but like
didn't have any other band to put it under.
Kind of, yeah. He just kind of wanted to experiment, so he like threw it under the Gorillaz.
And I do know under the Gorillaz lore, they like stopped for a while.
Yeah.
Like literally, they like stopped and went out and had adventures, and then came back.
Well, the thing
to
is,
make more music.
Well, the thing is with like The Fall is like between The Fall and I think it was Humans.
I believe Humans with a Z.
Yeah. It was Humans. It was a huge hiatus. Like a huge hiatus in between them.
Let's see.
To the point where I thought they were like just finished after The Fall. Like they were just done with music. Yeah, that's pretty big. It's not Tool levels of big, but it's still pretty big.
I was homeless right before this whole college year pulled back in, and I was staying at my buddy's place. And all we listened to was either a type of metal, and when I say a type of metal, he means he would say, say a word. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, say a word. And I was like, okay, dark, black metal, folk metal,
Yeah.
Math metal. I was like, and then he was like, oh, math metal.
Oh boy.
You mean Tool? And I was like, what? And he's like, technically it's math rock, but listen to this. And then, right as I was getting about to move out, Fear Inoculum came out.
Yeah.
That was a solid one. I know we talked about it.
Yeah. Which
Tool is legitimately designed as like a trip.
Tool's great.
It's wild.
Tool's great. Fear Inoculum has been growing off
me. They take so long to like
no, that's
produce.
that's the thing is they don't take so long to produce. It's just that like, so between like 10,000 Days and Fear Inoculum, they were pretty much not broken up, but they just didn't want to write anymore. Like they pretty much everything like Fear Inoculum on was written like the past probably 2 years since its release. Cause like all the members of the band had other projects to work on. Like I know Maynard has like Tool, A Perfect Circle, and I think Pussifer, which are all his kind of things. And then I don't know the details of the other band members' stuff. I know they had like other projects, so they were all kind of on their own little islands.
Got it.
You know,
just overlapping projects.
Yeah, and then like they decided to like come together to make Fear Inoculum, which was really hype, and then no one is talking about it anymore because it didn't live up to the hype. And how could it?
Right.
Like how could it? Honestly, it had to have been like genuinely
divine words.
It had to have been completely like a musical revolution, and it just sounded like another Tool album,
which is technically what everyone wanted.
It's fine, but it's like it's another Tool album, but people would rather just listen to like Anima or 10,000 Days or Lateralis or literally any other one.
Now the album art was cool.
The album artwork was incredibly cool. I pre-ordered it.
Made a lot of sense.
I pre-ordered it and I got like the big like box that came with it.
Yeah.
And like it's that like Tool is one of those bands.
This is the entire reason why you still stick to physical media. Is these moments right here.
Yes, Tool is one of those bands that goes full out on physical art every single time. Their first album, I'm not counting the OP EP, even though that is like I do consider that part of the Tool canon. Their first album, Undertow, doesn't really do a whole lot with it. It's just kind of a basic jewel case. Then they released Anima. And what makes Anima really cool is that it has like, you know those like holographic like, what's it called, where you like move it around and
prism like bookmarks?
Kind of. It's like,
what does it do?
Like what you do is you take like the artwork from within like there and you place it on a table and you pull out the thing that comes with it, which is inserted in the front. You move it around and it changes the pictures based on what angle it is.
Oh, it's like the blue and red thing.
Yeah, sort of like that, but like not really. It's more about like how light is refracting through it.
Okay.
You know, if I knew I was going to talk about it, I would have brought all my albums.
No,
it's
like, perfectly fine. Hey, if you'd like, would you like to bring them next week?
Yeah, I'd have to dig them out of my boxes. I haven't unpacked them. Don't worry about it then. There's that. There's Lateralis. And that had just a like that was the thing where you pulled the like the little booklet off and you take the thing out, and instead of like all the like information like the band title, the album title, and the track list was on this like slip that came off the top, and you put it to the side and you pull it out and it's like a booklet showing like a dude doing like a pose like this, and like every layer was like a different layer of his body, where it was like the first layer was like his skeleton, and then you put the muscles on top, and then like the intestines, and then like the brains, and then like the last one is like this like psychedelic like
He's nerding out over here.
Like I know I'm a huge music dork. Like this big like
chakra stuff.
Like chakra stuff. Exactly. Thank you. And that's Lateralis. And then 10,000 Days, which oddly enough, as cool as the album artwork for it is probably my least favorite Tool album.
Aww.
It's still really cool to look at because this time they went full out. Not full out Fear Inoculum full out,
but Fear Inoculum was a wild.
But pretty full out. So how it worked was it had these like goggles that were like
separate goggles came with it.
No, attached to the case. Okay. And you flip those out and you flip the thing in front, so it's like a kind of like a box with the top open. You know,
a spaced out segment to look through.
So it's and then you look through the goggles and you flip the pages, and it's really hard to do, but if you focus on it, it makes like a complete 3D picture.
Oh.
So like you can look through and you see like this picture of like Maynard holding like a falcon or something, or maybe it's Danny Carey, I don't remember, but like, and it's all these pictures of them doing these like weird stuff, and then these like really psychedelic Alex Gray type of artwork.
Yeah.
And then Fear Inoculum came out, and they were like, we have to do something crazy. So they make this big booklet. We're talking like DVD
chunk,
like a DVD case booklet, and you would open it up, and inside of it, it had a cable to charge it and a video port, and it had a button to play, pause, etc. And as long as it was charged, if you opened it up to get the DVD out, it would play this video on loop, like a video in the case that came with this album artwork.
Yeah.
Like
LCD screen and all.
Yeah, LCD screen. It was crazy. It was
usually you get you get CDs in cases and sleeves all the time.
Yeah.
You get interesting artwork, which is really like a main place to do. Tool gave you a video.
Yes.
Moving picture.
A moving picture within their album. Like, this isn't like why you bought it. It's not even that long of a video. It's probably like 2-3 minutes.
It's not super important. The fact that they did it though
is really like genuine. Even if the album didn't live up to expectations, right. I still think that was really cool.
See, I love that when it comes to video games. Witcher 3, Dark Souls, those sort of games, not due to their difficulty level or their like function, but the fact that the producers will make so many extras that you can get for it.
Yep.
There's care put into it.
Yes.
16
feels very good.
3 DLCs and Witcher 3.
Yeah.
So many. Or like Dark Souls, good quality DLCs.
Yeah.
I love either way more of your world, or if your world is already complicated, interesting innovations within it.
That's sort of how I feel with like Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, yeah?
All of its DLC is stuff that expands on aspects of the world that sort of already exist in this like super fascinating like virtual community with its own unique politics that would only make sense within that community.
Yeah.
You know, and then to expand upon it with, hey, here's this one where you meet this like folkloric legend who's been causing like the main bad faction all this trouble, where they've told tales of him, and you know like a little bit about him. He used to be the guy who's like second in command of it, and then you go there and you meet this like prolific figure.
Yeah.
And it's crazy and it's super cool.
Wild.
Yeah. Just stuff like that.
Fun talks.
Absolutely.
No, this is why I enjoy this show. Moving on to a couple of our finishing up segments, because we've been here for an hour and 15 minutes.
Right on.
No, it's good. It's good. It's been fun.
Content.
I'm surprised, honestly.
Oh, it kind of flew, didn't it?
Yeah.
See, that's the point.
Because it's fun.
That's how
it's fun.
That's how I designed the show. I've technically been in control the whole time.
Oh no.
Couple of things, little announcement mid-show. We've got, I was working on the top hits list for what, Jake? Today?
For Rock, I think it was.
The website.
The website. Like what do you mean? Because I know you're working on a website to update the top hits, like the top 10.
We're gonna have a website soon.
Yes.
The radio station.
Okay.
Well, I'll be all right then.
I didn't know that was like the radio station
not
website.
Informed?
You.
Well, what?
I kind of already thought we had a website.
We have a website on
the Tarleton page. Okay, let me get this straight. This is going to be like our official,
like kxtr.com.
Yes, this is like our official website.
I've been building over the last couple of weeks, more like moving into almost a month now. We should be done up pretty soon, or at least an initial drop soon. I've been building us a website.
Yes.
It looks pretty clean, I'd say. Yeah, Jake, you looked at it at least.
I've seen a little bit of it, but I haven't seen a whole lot.
You like the top hits page though?
Top hits page is good.
That's my artistic page right there. We're gonna have a website. You can look at our listen live. It'll have all of our links. It'll be one of the first things that we start plugging in this. You can go to it and either play most recent episodes of the podcast you love here, or you can follow the links to take you to the Spotify's or the the other pages of stuff that we also create. Sort of, it's going to eventually become our central hub for all of these things because we make so many shows now. Brandon has been currently working on his most recent show that we will probably have done recording episode 1 on Thursday, which will be the night this podcast will come out and Brandon will have finished recording. So as at the time of this release, Brendan will have finished his first original episode of a new show we call Lore Library. It's an extensive look into alternate realities and universes created inside of works of fiction. I'm not going to spoil what he's talking about the first one. But
gotcha.
Interesting, yeah?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
definitely worth tuning in.
That's what we've been working on. Whenever that show first drops, there'll be trailers. I don't know if we can figure out a way to guess it because he said that he talks so fast just to get that first, because he does the whole universe intro on the first episode.
Yeah.
So that's a quick one. But maybe each season is one universe. We've structured it. So maybe there'll be some time for like the later episodes to bring in fans and stuff and talk about the show.
Yeah.
Quick little bit. Do y'all want me to talk about a funny local thing, or do you guys want to try a little game real quick that I put together?
I'm fine with either personally.
Let's go with the game.
Game? All right. First one to give me 5 fun ways to say the word potato wins.
Dirt bundle.
Tater in Idaho.
Irish money.
Potater.
Mashed tater.
Brotato.
Famine causer.
Jake! You can't do that, Jake!
What? What'd I do?
Golden nuggets.
Irish bale.
That thing with eyes. 5, right there.
Okay, Jake wins by cheating and burning all Irish people.
What?
I'm going to Ireland.
What?
I'm going to Ireland this summer.
I am Irish, Jake. My people came here because of that.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they came here because I would have met you.
You're glad that the
I would have met
you know who you're messing with, boy?
Jake, you're glad that the boll
That's even worse than
You're glad that the boll weevil destroyed entire populations such that people had to eat literal grass.
I'm glad I got to meet you.
Alright, I appreciate that. However, the weight of the subject?
Yes.
I would say.
Look. All I'm saying is it happened a while ago.
Like 150 years ago. That's like 3 generations. That like people are still like.
Just because you said 3 generations, it make it sound like it's not been that long. Keep just saying 50 years.
My bad.
Because when you say 3 generations, just like, oh, about 3 weeks ago. Oh, okay, cool. Let's keep it at 100 years, 150 years.
It's been a little bit, but not that long.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. We were already in like post like mechanization of the United States when that happened.
Yes.
Anyways, Jake wins. You can find Jake somewhere around the radio station if you need to come and get your.
Yeah,
Irish
I'm like a cryptid. I'm like Mothman or Ted Cruz.
Speaking of your hold on.
Calm down.
Speaking of your cryptid nature, have we seen any more sightings since last week?
Sightings of what?
Your clone, your possible doppelganger.
No.
Maybe your brother.
Dude.
I don't think he's my brother. At least not full.
So why has he disappeared?
Because we called him out.
Has he gone in hiding? Does that mean he knows that we're hunting him?
Mayhaps.
Probably because he knows.
You don't get to say that too. Who's Jake? Get Jake, talk on the microphone.
What?
When did he start saying mayhaps? Did you do corn dog? Did he do that?
No, I've said it every once in a while, but I don't say it often.
Oh, it's an infection, isn't it? It's a deep-rooted meme.
I've been saying this for years. Don't worry about it.
It's a quantum meme.
It's
an infinitely relevant mimetic.
Thank you, Brian. Keep me sane here. Keep me on baseline.
Nah, you gotta drive him. You gotta drive him like us.
Couple local things going on around campus. One, we have the inauguration happening Friday.
Yes.
That's this week, yeah.
Yes.
I don't have to come into work till later because I have morning classes. I'm certain all of you students will be sleeping in.
Class, so.
I don't have
That's
class.
great.
I don't have class on Fridays, but I gotta work. I gotta come here too. So
Same here.
I don't have class, but I got a lab.
Oh man. We all got something going on that day in the evening, but we hope that you have a nice relaxing sleep in. And if you've got nothing better to do, Cole pointed this out today. Walmart, the local Walmart in Stephenville, has 7 whole pallets of cheese balls containers. So if you need to stock up, or you just want to go and walk around the Walmart cheese balls,
oh man,
you can do that.
I ate before I came here. That's making me sick. But ask me whenever I've starved myself since then. Like,
okay,
yes.
Quick opinion: most stuffed Oreos.
What do you mean?
Do you not know?
My roommate had a bag of those.
I ate a whole box the other day.
What the heck?
Are they good? I haven't
They're
tried.
delicious.
They're delicious, but it's a lot of sugar.
What's up?
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Huh? You have a friend that makes homemade Oreos.
Yeah, like homemade stuffed Oreo balls.
Oh, you
No,
mean like
no.
not homemade Oreos, like stuff you use Oreos in, but homemade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he makes homemade, like homemade Oreos.
I'm talking like this is a thing that they make and
Yeah.
sell to people.
It looks good, but I
Yeah,
haven't
for
had a chance
boys.
to get it.
They're that. It's lit. You know a double stuff Oreo.
I love double stuff. I don't get
Put-
regular Oreo
put
anymore. I get
two
double stuff.
stuff Oreos together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Take the that one bit of
I've
cookie
done
out of
that.
the middle.
quadruple stuff.
Or like if you're a fan of a
that's the standard size of a most stuff.
if you're
It's all cream filling.
if any of you remember the old YouTube channel, I know most of you don't because this
What's
is
up?
my generation. The old YouTube
Hold
channel
up,
Balloon
stop.
Shop.
Stop right there. What do you mean your generation? You're literally in your 20s.
Balloon Shop was an old YouTube channel from the early days of
How old are
YouTube.
you?
That relative, anyways.
Balloon Shop.
It's like there was this one video they did where they're like the whole joke was they're trying to find a way to make the best Oreo possible. The guy, I forgot the exact what he did, but he pulls out a 20 stuff.
That's good.
It's
a 20.
Yeah, okay, I think the joke was like the first guy was like, okay, here's how you eat an Oreo. You take an Oreo and it's like, okay, and you add like a little bit of like syrup. And then you put like a little bit of caramel, and it like gets progressively kind of weirder and weirder until it's
more complicated.
and then it's like ridiculous.
Ketchup.
It's like like ketchup. I mean that wasn't one of them, but like we're talking like black pepper and like coffee mix and all
this
this.
is a comedy
It's a
video,
comedy
right?
video,
Okay.
and then he's like, "That's disgusting." So this is what I would do. I pull out thing I do. I pull out the 20 stuff, and then I take the top off and I just put a little almond on it. I just kind of just enjoy.
The 20 stuff.
Yeah. And then
That's too much.
We've got a lot of people making videos
The
now
la- the-
showing 2,000 calorie Oreos.
the
like
last
this-
the last skit is a dude comes in. It's like, I'll show you guys
Well,
how to
no,
make an
there's the
actual
20
Oreo.
stuff right there, bottom of the
And
screen.
he just
right
eats
there.
an Oreo.
That's too much.
That's not enough. Gotta pull out the 20 stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't. What's that? I don't eat sweets
Oh
like
yeah,
that, so.
and they have the new Oreo thins now too.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, less cream.
It's like
What?
half the cream.
Yeah.
Half the cream. You know what?
Here's the numbers.
I'm keeping that to
Here's the
myself.
thing. I can respect someone who prefers the cookie over the cream. That's respectful.
So
Most
there's-
of my friends prefer the cookie over the cream.
Hold up.
But I
Let's just
personally
show this off.
think
Oh, shoot.
the best is the balance between cookie
Here it is. Here it
and
is.
cream.
So they've got thins, classics, double stuff, mega stuff, then most stuff.
I think they need to finally pull out the 20 stuff.
See,
Calm down.
A box would contain 3 cookies.
so
Oh.
this is Jake here.
Yes.
Audio,
Only
audio,
like
audio.
do that many
I
more
don't want
times.
it. I don't want it.
You don't like it?
I don't like sweets like that.
I do.
Ah,
I
see,
do.
Like I do that. Like everything I said, 20 stuff and all that. Like
it's
am
giving
not-
him vertigo.
I'm just like
He's getting acid reflexes.
He's getting a heart attack just by looking
like
at
I'm
it.
just like this. That just not sound appetizing to me. I'm not gonna lie.
See, I've been cursed with a sweet tooth,
I have too.
such that
Yep.
I have not been able to fall asleep unless I've had some sort of sugar. It was bad. I'll get off work. Well, like I get stressed, and then I want to eat something sweet.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that.
Because I had to close the fryers on Monday, so that was a whole new position for me to close, and I'm
Yeah.
literally hand scraping dry grease. And like no one would show me how to close the fryer, so I had to just wait till 11 or till 10 when we officially do the whole like no more food.
Yeah.
And really you're supposed to start partialing at 9 o'clock because it takes 2 hours to close
Mm-hmm.
because you hand scrape the fryer out.
Mm.
So I didn't get like back on the road to my apartment till midnight.
Yeah.
And I just stopped and I bought a box of these most stuffed, and it calmed me down so fast.
Let me ask you something.
What's up?
How many Cadbury cream eggs do you eat in one setting?
I can eat 3.
It's a lot of sugar, right?
I can't do it. I eat 3. I have to do it in the morning. Here's the deal. I have to do it right when I wake up on Easter. Eat 3, fall asleep the rest of the day.
There you go.
It's not like a food coma. It is
sugar crash.
It is not sugar crash.
Bull crap. I call bull crap.
No, it is a diabetic reflex. My body is attempting to not immediately die due to calorie intake because it's so dense. I also have to drink a gallon of water right before, or I'll wake up with sand tongue.
That is amazing.
Cadbury
You are
Green Eggs
giving
will
me
soak the
inspiration.
Jake, if I have to go to a hospital as your visitor and witness to legal documentation,
Buy the
I'm
value
gonna
bag.
beat you up.
Buy the value bag of Cadbury
Just
cream
cut
eggs.
my IV.
I'm gonna-
Just like, hey, I'm getting sued because of you. Check this out. And he just walks.
I am going to invent anti-sugar just to beat
You've
you.
heard of blood sugar level low,
Anti-sugar.
blood sugar level high.
Right?
Anti-sugar.
I'm gonna get you, Jake, if you tell me anything about man, my stomach really hurts. Why, Jake? I did Ethan's method of making a Cadbury egg smoothie the night before.
I did Ethan's method, then multiplied it by 3. I credit him to everything. He's the inspiration.
I'm just saying. No.
No. Mr. CIA man, no.
It's the IRS.
Oh, goodness
That is
gracious.
So.
Like you've invented a new bioweapon, Ethan, and I'm gonna be the guinea pig.
You were gonna be the first version.
Coronavirus, you better watch out.
All right.
Oh no, calm down.
I'm gonna start.
He's
finishing
to start winding it down.
Yeah. This is the new ending of the show, everybody. I appreciate you coming in to listen. You've been listening to Cruisin the Planet. This has been your episode where you can find something to do in and around Stephenville every week. If you've enjoyed the show, don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you want to find more things made by us, follow the links in the description. And if you have any questions or suggestions, ask them in the comments or on Twitter with the hashtag CruisinQuestion, and we might just read your question on the next show. Everyone, say bye.
Bye, everyone.
Farewell.
Shouts out to
It's been
Australia,
real.
the Balkan states, and Ethiopia.
Jake,
Woo!
when's your birthday?
It's been real.
Pearl Harbor.
How old are you?